Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Ask Abroad Live special edition for Natsuki the movie. I've got my strong zero. It's good to see you, no matter where you might be out there in the big wide world. And I'm shattered. I'm absolutely shattered. What a few days it's been. It's good to see you all, guys. I hope you had a good few days. I hope you enjoyed Natsuki the movie. I hope you've seen it as well, given that we're going to be talking about it for the next hour and answering your questions. But where are you watching from? Let me know in the comments section. Where are you guys watching from? Let me know. I'm always impressed. It's nice to put things in perspective. I'm from Sendai. I'm in Sendai right now. This is the first time I've drunk this. This is Strong Zero, right? For those that you don't know, Strong Zero is like vodka, fizzy flavored vodka drink. It's Japan's like, I don't know, it's kind of like alcopop, but it's quite nice. This is lychee flavor and it tastes worryingly like lychee. I know that sounds a bit weird, but they've nailed the flavors so well that when I had my first sip, I was like, fuck, they've done it well. Anyway, enough of reviewing Strong Zero. Shattered. Right, where are you watching from, guys? Cambridge, London, Vienna, Hungary, Singapore, Cambridge, Alaska, Australia, Hamburg, Slovenia, Boston, Sweden, Tokyo, Holland, Waco. I still don't know if I'm pronouncing Waco right, Christy, but there you go. Oregon, Manila, Warrington. I like Warrington. I've been to Warrington. West Sussex, London. And going back to Chinwei87, who's from Singapore, I made a TV show last week for Singapore TV. They made me eat all sorts of weird foods in a little izakaya in Tokyo. It was like I had to eat a cockroach and loads of bugs, and it wasn't particularly. It was kind of fun, I suppose. But yeah, if you're in Singapore, you get to watch that. So well done to you. But how was Natsuki the movie, guys? Did you enjoy it? How was it? The response has been pretty good. I have been kind of. It's one of those things because I've been working on it for like half a year now. I mean, I've been working on Natsuki the movie fucking the last month non-stop, right? And it's just now it's done. I woke up this morning and I was like, oh, I've got to finish Natsuki the movie. And oh wait, I've done it. Oh yeah. The weight lifted. The weight has lifted from me. It's such a big fucking weight that it feels like it's still there. It feels like I've still got to do something. So that's quite weird. But yeah, I'm so incredibly relieved, and the response has been pretty good. Like it's done better than most videos we normally put out, so that's always good. Got demonetized, as you'd expect. I felt bad for whoever's got to look through that. When a video gets demonetized on YouTube, somebody has to manually look through it, and so that means somebody had to look through Natsuki the movie for like an hour and work out if it's suitable for adverts or not. The good news is they decided it is suitable for adverts and it got remonetized. And then after 1 hour, it got demonetized again because one of the songs that I used in the movie was copyright. It was copyright striked or something. I paid for the song. The Natsuki the movie's got like 20 songs or something in it, 20 or 30 songs. And I paid for all of those songs. But the way YouTube works is it kind of does it scans the video, sees what music there is in it, and then it will kind of ban the video from adverts until it's been verified. So I've got to wait for that. But anyway, enough about it. I didn't make Natsuki the movie to make money anyway. I would have put a pay wall on it or something, you know. So I can't complain. It made $5.95 though in that 1 hour that it was monetized. So that's my strong zero. The money I've made from Natsuki the movie has been spent promptly on strong zero for this live chat. So yeah, for the next hour, I'm going to be answering your questions you guys have sent in, and questions in the comment section. So don't hold back, fire away. I thought we'd have a bit of trivia as well to see if you genuinely have watched it. I've got 5 questions to see if you have actually watched it and know your Natsuki the movie. You know it well. But I'm going to dive into the comments while I have a quick sip of this. It's good. If you come to Japan, drink the lychee flavour Strong Zero. And this isn't sponsored by Strong Zero. I'm genuinely that fucking good. Lots of people complaining about how shit YouTube is. I mean, to be fair, like I do understand why YouTube has to check the videos that they're like putting adverts on, but I think it's suitable. I don't know. They tend to overreact to my channel. My channel has a bad reputation amongst YouTube's algorithm, so every video I make tends to get copyright strikes. So it doesn't matter though. It doesn't matter. What do you think about Poland? I've never been to Poland. All I know is everyone I know from Poland is very nice. So have you met a Polish person? Yes, I've met lots of Polish people. I have lots of nice Polish friends. Polish people are very stern, aren't they? I don't want to dig myself a hole, but I find a lot of my Polish friends have a very, feels like they're very deadpan, which is coming from a British guy. That's pretty hardcore. But I find Polish people have a very different, a very kind of deadpan sense of humour. Don't know how to explain it. I don't want to sound like a big fan. No, I'm not going to dig a hole. Strong zero. Anyway, so I'm going to read out 5 questions, 5 trivia questions from Natsuki the movie, and we're going to see if you actually watched it and if you know your movie. So first question is, how many cigarettes a day does Natsuki smoke? In a given day, how many cigarettes does he smoke? And it's a shocking number. It's in the first, spoiler alert, if you're watching this and you haven't seen Natsuki the movie, you are going to learn a lot about it tonight. But yeah, it's not even I knew how many cigarettes he smoked until I shot that scene in his kitchen, and I was completely blown away. I was like, and they're not just any cigarettes, they're Marlboro Red. And if you know your cigarettes, you'll know Marlboro Red are like the really super duper strong ones. They've got like 12 milligrams of tar in them. And smoke, I can't smoke them, but I've smoked a few, and it's like having your head hit with a fucking hammer is the best way I can describe smoking Marlboro Red. And yes, 20 to 30 cigarettes. Absolutely, everyone got it right. Yeah, he doesn't eat cigarettes. He eats his cat. His cat is his breakfast. My breakfast. He eats his cat for breakfast every day. No, he smokes like 20, 30 cigarettes, and I don't know how he does it, but he's a proper addict. So I hope I've already talked to him about Natsuki the movie 2, and we said if we did it, I'd only do Natsuki the movie 2 on the condition that he stopped smoking, which I think is fair enough. Or maybe like Natsuki the movie 2, God forbid if there was another one, maybe that's what it would be about, him actually stopping smoking. And I think a lot of people can relate to that, given how many smokers there are out in the world who struggle to quit. And as he said in the film, Natsuki's tried to quit like once or twice, and it just hasn't worked. So yes, 20 to 30 cigarettes every day. Well done. Second question: how many hours of work does he have a day? How many hours a day does Natsuki work? And this was part of the problem. This was the whole reason he had to go to Europe, wasn't it? Because he was overworked. I mean, obviously, we to an extent we did play up the severity of his situation for the sake of the film. With every film or documentary, it's always got to have a narrative arc, right? There's always going to be a character, something goes wrong, they go on a trip, they come back and they've changed in some way. And we decided the best way to do that was to look at parts of his life that weren't going so well. And the part of his life that wasn't going so well is his ridiculous work schedule. Natsuki's work schedule is so bad. Like, I don't know how he does it. So yeah, you got it. Most people got it right. 12 to 15 hours a day he works. I don't know how he does it. Like 12 to 15 hours, 6 days a week, doing people's hair. I'm not envious of him, to be honest. But yeah, fair play to him. He hasn't got much choice, as he's the top person in his own business, right? Being self-employed isn't all it's cracked up to be sometimes. Eh? And here's a third question, though. So far, so good. How much did Natsuki spend on the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs things? I don't even know what they were. Were they dog toys? Were they? What were they? I think it was I think he actually bought dog toys, because you do that and they squeak. You squeeze it and it was like squeaking and stuff. And what was he thinking? But yeah, there you go. 300 euros. But what did he barter it down from? He managed to barter the toys down, didn't he? Fair play to him. But of all the things he could have bought, of all the things Natsuki could have bought in the finest antiques market in all of Paris, he had to settle on a terrifying bunch of dolls from the 1960s. I mean, Snow White's face was proper fucked up, wasn't it? Yes, good. He spent 300 euros. Well done. You've all got it right. 300, and he bartered it down to 350. So he got a bargain there, didn't he? 50 euros off for that collection of fucking nightmares. Do any of you actually think that was a good purchase? Like, do any of you guys actually think that was a worthy purchase of 300 euros? Because I don't think I don't think I could justify that kind of money. I think his thinking was maybe if he bought these weird little dolls and things and brought them back to Japan, he could sell them at a premium. Problem is, I don't think Japanese people are probably in the right frame of mind to purchase such weird things. So, don't know. They're the worst. They creep me out, to be honest. They're good only if they become a tourist attraction. Yeah, I wouldn't even pay €10, says David. Yeah, I wouldn't have paid more than fucking €2 for those things, to be honest. What did his wife think? That's the real question here, says Sophie. His wife thought, I think his wife just sort of went along with it. And by the way, his wife did go with him. A lot of people in the comment section asked, somebody asked, why didn't Natsuki's wife go with him? She did, and you can actually see her. There's one shot in the trip when he's in Europe, and you can see her in the background if you go back and watch it. When he meets Jeff, the fan in Leicester Square, his wife is standing in the background, and there's a shot of Natsuki and Jeff meeting, and Natsuki's surprised, and his wife's like, "Oh my god, what?" And then she sort of runs around the back of the camera. Go check that out if you haven't already seen it. That's quite a funny clip. But she was in it, and she had to go along with the mayhem the whole trip as well. I don't know how she did it, to be fair. Fair play on her. I don't know why she came. Because while we were filming Natsuki the movie, she's just standing in the background behind the cameraman or behind me the whole time, just bemused, wondering what's going on. I mean, the only good thing is she got to do an indoor skydive as well, so that was cool. I felt like, I'm sure she had some fun. She pretty much did everything Natsuki did, right? Like see the Mona Lisa, eat fresh fish and chips from Brighton. And I say fresh because they weren't fresh. They were caught like 500 miles away. Don't know why he thought they'd be fresh, just because he ate fish and chips by the sea. But yeah, she got to do an indoor skydive. She didn't fuck a somersault up, though, and she didn't nearly break her neck. So don't know why Natsuki couldn't do it. Honestly. The funny thing about Natsuki doing the skydive and the backwards somersault thing, right, was it actually was quite funny. Looking back at it, it's one of the highlights of the film in my mind. So to an extent, I'm kind of glad he did do it. I'm kind of glad he did fuck up a backwards somersault because it looks quite funny. There's the moment when he bangs his head, and then it was a good excuse to go and do acupuncture, which was his entire idea. I'll get onto that in a minute anyway. Fourth question. I'll go dive into the comments quickly while I have another sip. It's good, that. Who told them they were antiques, says Rugby Spalaren. I don't know. We were just going through an antique market, and he just looked at them and thought, yes, this is it. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, tattered, worn down from the 1960s, dubiously. I bet they weren't. I bet they weren't at all. I don't even know how he knew what they were. He didn't look at them and then look them up on his phone. He looked at them, seemed to become the expert on antique Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs dolls. He was like, oh yeah, this is it. This is a great antique. I was like, how do you even know that, Natsuki? How do you know that that's an antique? Someone's probably just trying to make a quick buck out of a dog toy, a collection of dog toys. But yeah, don't know. I didn't question it, to be honest. I didn't question it. What happened to the fan that you guys met? Did they exchange contact info? Yeah, they did. Yeah, actually, that was a really nice scene where Natsuki met Jeff. Jeff, really cool guy. Estonian dude living in London. It was great. I mean, we didn't know if we were going to bump into anyone. We did. And then Natsuki and Jeff just spent the whole day hanging out. I guess it was like the dream of any Natsuki fan, right? To actually just bump into him and then walk around. And then they went off and walked around London. They went to Camden, which is a really trendy part of London. And then Natsuki actually got spotted loads of times in Camden. He got spotted like half a dozen times there. But I wasn't filming that bit, so I'm an idiot. But like, yeah, it was really nice. That was a really nice scene. And we went to Wagamama's, which is a Japanese restaurant, together, and that was awful. But yeah, they had a really nice day. They had a really nice day together. So yeah, I'm sure a lot of you probably feel quite envious because that would be an ideal way to meet Natsuki, walking through Leicester Square, going for a beer, and then just, yeah, it was a really nice moment though. All right, question 4. We've got 2 more questions. Question 4: what did Natsuki take to London with him? What was the What was Natsuki tasked with taking to London by the owner of his local izakaya restaurant? And what a request it was. Of all the things Natsuki could have taken to London with him, it had to be that. I don't know why. I don't know why. I didn't question it. It's just something that happened. So that was weird. And the last question: what was the name of the bemused? And this is a good question. I don't think many people are going to get this. What was the name of the bemused acupuncturist? What was the name of the bemused acupuncturist who soothed Natsuki's back and then got to witness the greatest Chupa Chups lolly magic trick in the world? I don't know. I can't believe. Yeah, I think that's another one of my favourite scenes when Natsuki's just doing the magic trick with the Chupa Chups lolly, and the guy is just standing there like, what's going on? But he was actually, and there's a bit I didn't film, but I wish I could have, where straight after that moment, when Natsuki does the Chupa Chups lolly, and everyone's got it right. Mr. Terry is his name. Yeah, Mr. Terry, get it right. Not just Terry, it's Mr. Terry. After Natsuki does the magic trick, I say magic, I don't know what it was, where the Chupa Chups lollipop stands up, Mr. Terry was surprised and excited by it, and he actually took Natsuki around the back to a customer who was a cancer patient. It was really weird. There was a cancer patient sitting in a back room having some sort of treatment done, and we went in. There was Natsuki, Mr. Terry, and Terry was like, Natsuki, show this guy the magic trick. And Natsuki was just standing there with the fucking Chupa Chups lollipop with a bemused cancer patient just in a mental. I can't believe it actually happened. With just a cancer patient just sitting there like, what's going on? Why is this a thing? And I really wanted to film it, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. So yes. Maybe it cured. No, I don't think it did. But maybe it gave him a few moments of happiness. Yes, and going back to the last question, yeah, the thing Natsuki was tasked with taking was dried seaweed, amongst other things. Dried seaweed, seriously. What a thing to take to London. Well done, though. Generally, everyone got it right there. I suppose it wasn't a very difficult quiz, was it? I should have probably put more effort in there. So I'm going to dive into some questions now, so feel free to send me some questions in the comments section, guys. I'll be reading out things you've sent in and in the comments section. Out of curiosity, though, what was your favourite scene? I'm curious to know, what was your favourite scene in the film? For me, the favourite scene in the film was probably, I'm stalling, it was the scene where Natsuki is in the bar with Tere-san, and they're like doing the Chupa Chups lolly, having conversation. Natsuki's playing the guitar. I really like that scene. It just felt very natural, right? It didn't feel staged, because it wasn't. It just felt really nice. It was a nice little insight, wasn't it, into rural Japan life in a British themed bar. It was a really cool place, that. And Tere-san was a really cool guy. But yeah, let me know your favourite scene. I'm going to go through some of your questions. Question 1. How did you travel from London to Paris? Train, car, or plane? What is Natsuki like to fly with? Did immigration give you any trouble about the seaweed for the chef in London? Unsurprisingly, the seaweed wasn't an issue. That went straight through. The trip to London from London to Paris was actually a fucking nightmare. As I talked about before, the day that we went from London to Paris, we were going to fly with British Airways, and we got to Heathrow Airport, and it turns out, like 20 minutes earlier, Heathrow was closed because some idiot had fucked up the IT at Heathrow Airport. And so we nearly had to write off the entire trip to Paris. We're all really gutted, because there was absolutely no way we were going to get there by plane. And so I had to rent a car from Enterprise Rent-A-Car around the corner. And then I had to actually drive for like 6 or 7 hours all the way from Heathrow, across England, through the Channel Tunnel, up across rural France, and then into downtown Paris. Absolute nightmare. I was such a shame, because I was going to film the flight, right? I was going to film Natsuki flying on British Airways, and I couldn't do that, and it turned into just an absolute nightmare of a journey. And I've never driven down the wrong side of the road, because it is the wrong side. People in Europe and people in America driving on the wrong side. I was driving down the wrong side of like a main road in France, and I didn't realise until someone coming to like directly towards me was like beeping their horn and flashing. I was like, oh shit, yeah, they drive on the other side of the road in France. It was nearly ended really badly. Nearly ended really badly. I think we nearly crashed like twice. So it would have been quite fun to film that, but I didn't have a cameraman at that point. It was just me at that point, so I couldn't film it unless I was driving and filming at the same time, and that probably wouldn't have gone down too well. But yeah, so that was the journey. That was the journey from the not so fun journey from London to Paris. Yeah, God. My favourite scene was the breakfast cat, says David. Why does everyone love the breakfast cat so much? What is it with that cat in the breakfast scene? Beginning scene with him in the morning. That's a really nice scene as well. The way I filmed that is I turned up to Natsuki's salon, Natsuki's house, about 9 o'clock in the morning, and yeah, we just started filming. And Natsuki absolutely looks like crap in the morning. No offense to him. I mean, that video, the scene doesn't really do him justice, does it? He sort of wakes up and there's a cigarette and he looks like he's dead. And then the cat comes on. The cat gives him life. But yeah, I like that scene. It's quite a nice little scene. I love the graveyard scene, says Scash. Yeah, what an absolute disaster that was. I don't know why we didn't really look up Sid Vicious. Thing is, when Natsuki said, I'm going to go and see Sid Vicious in London, I was like, oh yeah, great idea. And I thought there's no way Sid Vicious, the quintessential British punk rock dude, would not die overseas. He definitely died in the UK. So I didn't bother checking it out because I just assumed Natsuki knew, right? I thought, oh, Natsuki's the expert. Natsuki loves this guy. He's going to know where he's fucking buried. So we got to Highgate, where Natsuki thought he was, and then he wasn't there. Turns out the person that was buried at Highgate was actually Stephen McLaren, the manager of the Sex Pistols. He was there. We didn't put it in though. It wasn't particularly interesting, that scene. But yeah, Natsuki got it mixed up. And again, it's another one of those moments, right? When you're making a film, when you're making a documentary thing like that, it's quite nice where things go wrong and it's quite organic. And we didn't plan to see Karl Marx. We literally just turned the corner and there's Karl Marx there. And I love that scene. I think my favourite line in the film isn't really even a funny line. I just say to Natsuki, oh, have you read the works of Karl Marx? And Natsuki goes, oh yeah. He definitely hasn't. I don't even think he knew who Karl Marx was. I did show him like on Japanese Wikipedia. I was like, yeah, Karl Marx. He went, oh yeah. But I don't even know if he knew who he was, to be honest. That was a nice scene, wasn't it? But I had people in the comment section. I've had like hate mail from people who hate Karl Marx. I mean, I'm not going to get in a political debate about Karl Marx, but yeah, a lot of people don't like Karl Marx, as you'd expect. And lots of people are like, yeah, I fucking hate Karl Marx. Why does Natsuki like Karl Marx? He doesn't. At best, he's ambivalent towards Karl Marx. Yeah, don't know. Do you like Karl Marx? Let me know in the comment section. I don't really care. I have neither good nor bad. Don't really have much for or against Karl Marx, to be honest. I like his grave though. Very swanky looking statue, isn't it? What scenes do you guys like? My favourite scene was him writing the song. He just looks like he has a new lease on life. Yeah, so the song took Natsuki about 3 weeks to write, I think. So he originally wrote the song in Japanese, and then he translated it into English on Google Translate, and it was an absolute nightmare. I was reading it. He sent me the translated version in English through Google Translate. It made fuck all sense. I was like, Natsuki, what is this? This doesn't work. So I had to read through his Japanese lyrics and help him piece it together. And originally, that whole scene with the band and the music, that wasn't even in the film, right? The original ending was awful. It was just Natsuki staring at the Eiffel Tower, just going, "Oh, this was a nice holiday. That was fun." The end. And it just didn't work. It was boring, right? So the fact that he came back and had this idea of writing the song was a real relief for me. And that's the reason it took another like 3 or 4 months to finish, because we had to film lots of things. I had to learn how to make a kind of music video that wasn't awful. I mean, that experience in itself was a nightmare. I'll get onto that in a minute, but yeah. But yeah, it's a nice scene. Natsuki sitting there writing his song. Natsuki by the sea talking about his regrets, says Imola. Yeah, that's a nice scene as well. It's quite nice. Yeah. Lots of people said they were touched by that scene. A few people said it was a bit too cheesy because the soundtrack's quite strong. But yeah, I don't know. As I said before, we had to play up the situation Natsuki was in, right, for the film to make it a bit more dramatic. Really, when I was filming that, just laughing behind the camera, I was like, because I know Natsuki really well, and I just can't take him seriously. When every time we tried to film something serious, like Natsuki talking about his life or regrets, or Natsuki looking depressed, I was just behind the camera laughing like an idiot and trying not to hide my laughter because I just can't take Natsuki seriously because it's Natsuki, isn't it? So but yeah, that's a nice scene. It's a nice scene. Did Natsuki enjoy visiting Camden? It's a cool place for people who are into alternative music. Natsuki enjoyed Camden. He loved Camden. Camden's like Natsuki's neighborhood personified, right? Hipster, artistic, cool neighborhood, right up Natsuki's street. David says, at least he didn't put flowers on Hitler's bunker. Yeah, that would have been not probably a bit of a low even for Natsuki. I hate Marxists at university. I don't hate the dude. Yeah, Karl Marx has the best beard in the world. Let's be honest. Yeah, quite good. I like the way they've done Karl Marx's beard justice on the stone statue. If you watch the film, and you've got like shot of Karl Marx, his beard looks fucking good in stone form, doesn't it? They've nailed it. Wonder how much they spent on that grave. Probably quite a lot. I was wondering what you thought about the Karl Marx stuff, says Skash. I think it would have made some crazy comments on YouTube. Yeah, it did. As I said, hate mail. Karl Marx is the fast track to getting hate mail, it seems, especially from people that like capitalism. I've never seen Natsuki so serious or coherent, says Pasta Every Day. Pasta Every Day. That wouldn't do you much good, would it? Yeah. I think a lot of people are surprised by the fact that Natsuki was actually kind of serious. Well, in Act 1 he was serious. After that, kind of descended into madness as you'd expect. But yeah, it was important to make the first like 15-20 minutes serious, right? And for Natsuki to mainly use Japanese. I mean, usually when Natsuki's in the videos, he speaks English, and half the comedy is derived from the way he phrases things awkwardly and strangely. But I thought we needed to take him seriously, right? We needed to take him seriously. So, yeah, I think it worked. And to take him seriously, we need him to speak Japanese. Right, I'm going to dive into some questions we've got here. Did Natsuki's wife go on the holiday in trip 2? Yes, she did, as I mentioned earlier, and I think she enjoyed it. She enjoyed the indoor skydive, and I think she really liked Paris. In fact, Natsuki liked Paris as well. There was a few moments where he was, you know how you get, what's it called? Paris syndrome. It's said that Japanese people get Paris syndrome, where Japanese tourists go to Paris and then they're shocked and surprised by the fact Paris isn't the way you think it's going to be. And there was a little bit of that. Like, I think we took the wrong street a few times and it was kind of really gritty and shady. And while we were in Paris, a lot of people, for some reason, came up to Natsuki and begged him for stuff all the time. They begged him for money. They begged him for cigarettes. I think a lot of people in Paris just saw Natsuki as an easy target. They thought, oh, he's Japanese, maybe he's nice, and sort of. So he got a lot of people asking for money and cigarettes while he was in Paris for 2 or 3 days. But other than that, yeah, he really liked it and he wanted to spend more time there. Yeah. What did Natsuki's wife think of the snails, the escargot? Says Jack. She didn't really like them, actually. Me and the camera assistant ate a few, and there was 4 of us there. So there was me and Natsuki, camera assistant, Natsuki's wife. We kind of ate them between the 4 of us. I didn't like them. No, they weren't good. Who eats snails for fun? Do you actually like snails? Are there people out there that actually eat snails for fun? No, I don't understand. Horrible. Ugh. What we got here? We need a history lesson on Karl Marx. Yeah, from Natsuki. What better person to do it? Strong Zero is tied. Oh, we go. Strong Zero comment. Strong's Hero is tied to the Ikawa teacher stereotype. Whenever you see piles of Strong Zero in the bin, there's probably some foreigners within the residence. Yeah, it is pretty popular amongst foreigners and old guys. I was on a train the other day, and there was just like a 60-year-old guy sitting alone on the train with a Strong Zero, downing it, and he loved it. Yeah, it seems to be the drink of foreigners and old Japanese men. Don't know why. I don't know how Strong Zero have done that. Clever marketing. What made you? Do you have a memorable moment from the trip that happened off camera? I have a memorable moment from the music video. So going back to the music video, which was, I mean, that was one of the highlights of the film for me. And I had to learn how to make a music video, right? Or make something that wasn't shit, because I've never filmed anything like that. Anyone playing an instrument and playing in the band. And so now, after Natsuki recorded the song, we got the band together, and a lot of people didn't know this, but the bassist in the music video is Tera-san, the guy from the bar earlier on, right? But he's not really, you don't really see him that much, unfortunately. It's kind of like a little Easter egg, and it's really nice because, as you might remember, when Natsuki and Tera-san are in the bar, Natsuki says, "Oh, one day we'll play together," because they've been friends like 20 years. They both love music, but they never played together. And Natsuki's like, "One day we will unite. We will unite." And then he does the magic Chupa Chups lollipop trick or something. And so in the music video, they actually, Tera and Natsuki actually get to play together, which is really nice. But that day, that music video, when we filmed it, it was a fucking nightmare. And the reason it was bad, first of all, we got to the venue, which Natsuki rented out this this cool little venue where a lot of local bands play. And he had the stage, and there was me, a camera assistant, and Natsuki's two bandmates, the drummer and Tera-san on bass. And we had 2 hours there, and Natsuki was an hour late. He was an hour late because there was a blizzard, and he was wrapping up work late. And so he finally arrived, and as he opened his car door, the lyric sheets with the English written on, which he needed to read off of while he was singing because he hadn't memorized the English. It got blown away in the wind. What a dickhead. Only Natsuki could do that. And yeah, so he opened the car door, lyric sheets got blown away, and that was the first problem out of several. Next problem, Natsuki arrived, he hadn't got the lyric sheets, so we didn't know how he was going to sing the song from his memory. What a dick. And I was getting so angry. I was like, "Natsuki, this is our last shot to film this. You've got to hurry up now." And then he opened the guitar, and it was the wrong fucking guitar. He brought the wrong fucking guitar. I don't know how he'd done it. I think he's got like 2 or 3 guitars, and he stupidly picked the wrong one. And so his drummer, his nice drummer, had to go all the way back to Natsuki's salon, which was about a 15-minute drive, and it was a blizzard, like the blizzard from hell. It was really like scary weather. And so his drummer had to go all the way back and get the guitar. Meanwhile, Natsuki was like warming up and practicing. And by the end of it, in that 2-hour slot, we only had 15 minutes to film the fucking song. And I was like, we're fucked. Like, how's this going to look good? How's this going to work? So Natsuki performed the song, and the guy who like owns and manages the venue, I was like, "Can you do the lights for us?" And he did the lights. And the lights actually made the venue look a lot better, right? If you watch the video, half the reason it looks all right is because there's lots of nice flashing lights behind Natsuki. It's quite dynamic, I think. But we had 15 minutes. So I was like, "All right, Natsuki, you've just got to sing. Let's do it, go." And he performed the song once, and I think it was about 4 minutes long, Natsuki's song. So he performed it once, and I was like, "Good, now go again, go." And literally, the moment he stopped, he had to go again and again. And I filmed it 3 times, each time doing it from different angles on stage with the camera. And luckily, in each take, he fucked up the lyrics at least once or twice, right? He messed up the lyrics. But after I stitched it all together, each of those 3 attempts, I managed to make it look like he was actually singing it properly, right? To the best of my abilities. And if you watch it back, there's a few moments where you can see it's not in time, but generally it kind of works. But that's the power of editing, taking 3 disastrous attempts and blending it into one relatively all right looking video, and to edit that was a real nightmare. It took me like 3 or 4 days of like working out how to make it work. I remember studying like some bloody Blink 182 music videos from like the 2000s. I like watched some like indie rock music videos and was like, how does this work? What do they do? And I realized it needed to be fast paced. There needed to be lots of flashes and transitions, and to cover the moments where Natsuki fucked up the lines or where it wasn't in sync, I used clips from the trip, like him walking through the graveyard or walking towards Big Ben and stuff. So, yeah, now you know all this. Go back and watch the video, and you'll see what I've talked about. But yeah, so I felt quite proud after that. But it came together reasonably well. And of course, I think without the subtitles, nobody would know what he was saying. But with the subtitles, it's kind of all right. You can kind of follow it. But yeah, what do you reckon? What do you think of the music video? I think between that was the thing I was most happy about in the film, that I managed to actually make that work. That and the opening title sequence where Natsuki is like flying around in the skydiving thing, and then he like descends into darkness and smoke comes up. I like that. That's quite cool. So yeah. Anyway, that was a big monologue, isn't it? Time for a sip and a read of the comments. Pass for Every Day says, "This is, you couldn't make this shit up." Yeah, I know, it was mental. I wish the cameras are rolling. I'd love to have caught the moment where he opened the car door and the fucking lyrics got blown off into the wind. I'd love to have filmed that, because he couldn't have made that up. It's such a Natsuki thing to happen. Fatin Aminan. Some of these names are hard to read whilst drinking. And this hits you really hard quickly. I don't know why. It's like the universe wanted to stop Natsuki from performing. I thought that as well. Like, we actually tried to film another time before that, and Natsuki's bandmate had forgotten to book the venue. So we got to the venue and there was another band playing and we were fucked. And the whole music video thing was really cursed. So it's a miracle it actually worked in the end. Omar says, "This is probably why it took a long time to release the movie." Yeah, that and the fact the reason now you've watched it, I suppose I can explain, but the reason it took so long to come out was, whilst the first act of Natsuki's life was easy to film and do, and the last bit was all right, once I'd filmed the stuff in Europe, right, where I'm following Natsuki around with a camera and we're doing all this weird, wacky shit, it was really hard to make it work because we didn't film enough stuff. It was a bit incoherent. And if I have any criticism about the film, and I've got plenty, it's that the second bit, all the European stuff, feels kind of jumbled and rushed and weird. And I had a real hard time editing that to try and make it work into something that made sense. But I think we got there in the end. And I think that's the weakest part of the film. Yeah, the funniest moments are all the stuff Natsuki does in Europe, right? Like see the Mona Lisa or go on radio or fuck up a skydive. But that was the most difficult stuff to actually make work. So that's the reason it took so long. I got depressed for months. I got depressed for weeks just trying to work out how it was going to work in a way that wasn't just awful. And I think it worked in the end. But yeah, that was definitely the weakest part of the film. And I'm open to your criticism. I think I've heard a lot of praise about the film, but I'm really interested in criticism, right? So if you have any criticism about the film, shoot, go now in the comments. And don't worry, I won't cry. Probably. That'd be quite funny, wouldn't it? That would be solid entertainment, just watching me cry over a can of Strong Zero because you've said something horrible that I didn't like. But yeah, shoot with the criticism. I've had enough praise from. I mean, the thing is, the people that like Natsuki and like the channel, people are just so nice, and the comments have been great and wonderful and nice. But yeah, I'm dying to hear some criticism. If I was to rate Natsuki the movie objectively on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably give it a 6 out of 10 or a 7 out of 10. My criticisms of the film are the second act is too rushed and weird, and also I should have got more like clips of Natsuki having a commentary and thinking about what he's doing on the trip and what he's learned from it. Like, it's very snappy. It's like there's a 2-minute sequence, then there's the next one, right? It would have been nice to have some more comments and feedback from Natsuki along the way. Even just a minute or two would have made a big difference. So that's my biggest criticism, I think. The second act is a bit rushed. And also, it's not entirely clear how he has changed. Why just 5 or 6, how long did he go away for? 6 or 7 days. It's not clear how a 6 to 7 day trip has just changed his thinking and made his life good, I think. So that was a bit weak. Also, the camera quality was inconsistent. Somebody messaged me that on the Patreon. What is it? The question thing. Somebody said that the camera quality was inconsistent, and it was, because I filmed on 2 different cameras. We had the Canon 70D, which is my old camera that I used a lot. It's not very sharp, and the quality is not that great. And then we had the Panasonic GH5 for things like the music video and the last scene, and the quality is a lot sharper. There's a nice, sexy bokeh effect where there's blurring and stuff. So if I'd had that camera the whole time, it would have been a lot better. I would have given Natsuki the movie an extra point. But yeah, I think I'd try and give it a. I think I'd give it a 7 out of 10 objectively. But yeah, it's hard to. Obviously, it's hard to look at something objective that you've made. So I'm going to dive into the comments and see what we've got. I agree with the contrast with the new and old footage. You had different cameras and stuff, says Scrubbler. Yeah, I had 2 cameras, so that was the problem. So cool it's uncool, says anyone who's made a documentary often knows that the narrative emerges after the bulk of the shoot. Did you find your strongest ideas emerged after the European shoot? Yeah, I did actually. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I didn't really know what Natsuki the movie was about until we got back, and I was like, oh right, yeah, it's about him being overworked, and it's about him not playing in a band. And then I kind of worked out what sequences we needed at the end of the film to create that arc. So yeah, I mean, if you look at every film or documentary, there's always that story, there's always that arc, right, where someone is living their life, there's a problem, they go on a journey, they do something, and then they kind of change, and there's that moment where they change. And so yeah, it felt a bit rushed in some areas, says Ash. Yep, that's my main criticism. Heatcliff Salah says, I missed the different bit linking the scenes together. Missed the different bit linking the scenes together. What's that? But you were in London, nice, and suddenly a wild Stonehenge appears. All right, fair point. Yeah, I didn't film the scenes of like Natsuki commuting on trains or planes or cars, and I don't regret that. I think that would have slowed it down and been a bit unnecessary. If I went back and did it again, I would have more shots of Natsuki like traveling around, I think, and having his commentary on things. Like, it'd be nice to film Natsuki coming back from Stonehenge, for example, and hearing his thoughts on what he thought of Stonehenge and how it compared to what he imagined it would be, just some nice rocks that he wanted to colour in. So yeah, that's a good criticism, definitely. And a few people here, the transitions between the scenes might not have been the best. Yep, more footage on the plane. People love planes, don't they? People love transitions. That's what I'm getting now. If there's ever a sequel to Natsuki the Movie 2, don't worry. We'll have a nice 5-minute scene of Natsuki on a plane. And when he is on a plane, he's not in a good mood, because obviously you can't smoke on a plane. And when you've got a 12-hour flight between Japan and the UK, he often comes off looking like crap, to put it bluntly. Yeah, I did want to film that, but actually I came to Europe. I went to Europe a few days before Natsuki, so I didn't actually fly from Japan to the UK together. So I didn't get to do that. I wouldn't have got to film that, unfortunately. I would have preferred more of your sarcastic humour to lighten the mood, says Christy. Yeah, could have done. The voiceover of the film was really rushed. I only did it like last week. I did the whole voiceover to try and bridge it together. So the voiceover was a wasted opportunity as well. And I agree, the voiceover was a bit crap. It could have been a bit funnier, a bit snarkier, right? But yeah, unfortunately, didn't have much time. It was already 6 months late. Feel like the timeline is a bit jumbled. What do you mean by the timeline, Rugby Spalarin? You should do a follow-up video on YouTube about how the trip changed Natsuki, says Adam. Well, I think the movie covered that. To be honest. I don't think I need to think. I mean, to be honest, Natsuki didn't change that much, did he? He still smokes a lot. He still drinks a lot. He's still pretty stressed. And outside of writing that song, I don't think a whole lot's changed, to be honest. So, yeah, I think we played it up. What's going on there? Oh, whoa. Natsuki's sending me pictures now. What the fuck? My phone's going crazy. And Natsuki's just sent me about 20 photos randomly. Weird, isn't it? Should we have a look at one? What's all that about? Crazy. I haven't really spoken to Natsuki since we released the film. So he said he was happy about it. So yeah, oh crikey. There he is. There's Natsuki, taken literally moments ago. Natsuki, and he's in the izakaya that sent him off with the seaweed. There you go. It's Natsuki. It's a shame there's not a photo of him with Keiko-san, the woman who dispatched him off to London with the seaweed. There's another one there. He looks happy. He's in good spirits. He's put the song "Life Is Balloons," his hit masterpiece. He's put it on iTunes today, and I have nothing to do with this. He's just done it himself. I'll probably promote it tomorrow, but yeah, he's selling it for. I think he's selling it for like 79 cents or something. So if you really liked his song or you want to support Natsuki, that's the way to do it. But yeah, I don't know. Is the song worthy? Don't know. It's a bit harsh, isn't it? I'm a horrible person. It's an alright song. I think the scene transitions were fine. Life is planes. 1 week isn't enough, says Scrubbler. Yeah, I would have liked Natsuki. Ideally, when I said to Natsuki, let's go to Europe and film this, he said, I can only go for 5 days. And I said, it's got to be 10 days. If you want to do this, Natsuki, it's got to be 10 days or we're fucked. And he was like, oh, okay, 6 days, 7 days. I was like, all right, fine. So in an ideal world, we would have had a little bit longer. Chris, I remember you making a video, says Real Clown. I remember you making a video about 4 ways living in Japan changed you some time ago. I'm really interested to know if making Natsuki the movie changed you. Made me a lot more stressed. Yeah. No, I think in many ways there are some regrets with Natsuki the movie. Was it worth it? I mean, I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I did it. And the reason I'm glad I did it is I learned so much stuff doing it because it was completely out of my depth. I've never made anything longer than I think 20 minutes. So I felt really out of my depth making it, but I learned so much. I had to study cinematography. I had to study narrative structure. I had to work out how to make a music video by studying Blink 182 music videos. Don't do that. Don't even like Blink 182. I don't know why I studied their videos, but so I had to learn so much stuff along the way, and so I'm really glad I did it. And if there's any way that I've changed, it is if I did something like this again, and God forbid, I don't know if I will. If I do something like this again, I'll definitely plan it out a lot better, because the weakest point in Europe, if we'd planned that out a little bit better, could have been a lot more fun to watch, a lot more dynamic, I think. So yeah, but yeah, that's how I changed. It's made me a lot better as a filmmaker. And actually, the best video I've put out this year so far probably is the tsunami video, right? Back in February, was it February? Yeah, that's probably the best video I've made this year. And all the things I did in that made it good, the way I framed people, the way I did like dynamic transitions and things, that was all stuff that I learned making Natsuki the movie, right? So that was something good that's come from it. I learned how to do a lot more stuff, and going forward, the videos on the channel, the Abroad in Japan channel, will be better for it. So yeah, that's really good. And I made $5.95 as well from advertising revenue. So yeah, which was almost entirely spent on this. This makes me, as I've said before, this drink, I'm pretty strong with alcohol, but after you've had 2 of these, you're not in a good situation. So be careful coming to Japan. Look how sweaty I am just by drinking this, and the fact it's like 40 degrees in here. I should have put the aircon on. Don't know why I didn't do that. All right, let's dive into some more questions. Ryotaro the movie, says Daniel Scott. No, not a chance in hell. So is Ryotaro the movie the next one in the works? Though I think it would be a week of him trying to kill you. Yeah, it would be quite fun to have like a movie with Natsuki and Ryotaro, where like Ryotaro's trying to kill Natsuki or something. That would be much more entertaining. But I don't think Ryotaro has a story that I could tell that's compelling enough, to be honest. Like, I don't think it would work. I don't think Ryotaro has. This sounds awful. It sounds like I'm insulting him, but yeah, I don't think Ryotaro has a interesting enough story to tell. So yeah, as fun as he is on the videos we make, and as great as he is when we travel, he hasn't got anything bad going on in his life right now that I can make a film about. He's living a very nice life. He's a wealthy, successful businessman, and a documentary about Ryotaro would just be like, look how brilliant Ryotaro is. It just wouldn't work. So, yeah, don't know how that would work, to be honest. Come to think of it, says Jonathan, have Ryotaro and Natsuki been in a video together yet? No, they haven't actually, have they? They've been in a video, but not together. If that makes sense. Like they were in a video where there's two different scenes. A video about food in Aomori. They were in two different scenes, but separate days. I don't really know if it would work if they were together in a video. I've got to at least try it once though. I think they both want it. Like both Natsuki and Ryotaro want to be in a video together. They keep saying to me, "Oh, like Ryotaro's like, when's Natsuki coming to Sendai?" Natsuki's like, "Oh yeah, when's Ryotaro free? Let's make a video." I don't know what it would be about though, and I don't know how it'd work. So yeah, if you've got any ideas. I mean, David says Natsuki versus Ryotaro deathmatch. Yeah, that would be unpleasant. I don't know how that would work. The one time they met, it was really awkward because Natsuki got drunk, and I vividly remember Natsuki touching Ryotaro. Natsuki like touching Ryotaro's shoulder. He'll put his hand on his shoulder like that in a really overly friendly way, and Ryotaro was like, yeah, and moved his hand like that, and I was like, oh, that's awkward. So yeah, but they like each other, they get on, but I don't know how they'd fit together really. Don't know how that would work. Emma says, how about another eating challenge? Yes, that's the one way it could probably work. An eating challenge with Natsuki and Ryotaro. That could work. All right, let's dive into some more questions. Just nope, we've already answered that question. Do you think you'll ever make another documentary length piece of content? Yeah, definitely. Like, I really want to do something again. Just, I don't know if it'll be Natsuki the movie too. And I suppose we should probably talk about that now. Natsuki the movie too. So we did think about it. After we finished making Natsuki the movie, we did think, well, there's one loose end at the end of it, and that is he didn't meet Sid Vicious. I'll say meet. He didn't visit the grave of Sid Vicious, which is very different from meeting Sid Vicious. And Sid's in New York or Philadelphia or somewhere. So, do you know? Does anybody know where Sid Vicious is buried or where he is? Because I haven't a fucking clue. But it's somewhere around New York or Baltimore or something. So, I mean, that could be a good excuse to go to America, right? But I don't know. I don't know if I could do it really. I don't know if it'd. I don't know what the story would be this time, and I feel like it's nice to end Natsuki's story there almost. I don't think it'd work doing a sequel. Of course, I'm definitely obviously Natsuki's going to be in the videos and stuff, and it'd be more fun just to make just a series of videos doing stuff with Natsuki, right, rather than to make a sequel. So yeah, but I don't know. What do you think? I mean, really, I'm at the mercy of Patreon. This whole movie, which I've got to thank you guys again for, it's all thanks to Patreon. It's all thanks to you guys. I remember, what, it must have been 18 months ago now, I made a off-the-cuff remark. I said something like, if this channel's supported by 1,500 people, we'll literally make Natsuki the movie, to quote my stupid, naive former self. And then it happened in the space of like a month or two, and I had to do it, right? And I was like, oh fuck, how am I going to do it now? Oh no. And so yeah, but It's thanks to you guys it happened. So that's cool. So if it happened again, it would be because lots of people on Patreon would ask me to do it, right? It'd be because you wanted it and stuff. Because Natsuki the movie was funded through Patreon. Natsuki the movie 2 would be probably funded through Patreon. So I don't know. But I think there's better stories to tell and there's more things to do. So, and if we did do it again, I would probably script it out a bit more, plan it out a bit more. I would hire a proper production team, probably at least 2 or 3 other people with like a microphone and a camera. Only thing is price, like then costs would go up a lot. The good thing about Natsuki the movie was it was very guerrilla style filmmaking, right? We just had like 1 or 2. We had 2. It was me with a camera and a friend of mine, Pete Murray, who's a really cool guy and cameraman who helped me do it. And yeah, I think I would need a few more people this time, but we'll see. We'll see. And also, I don't think it's done. I don't think Natsuki the movie's done well, right, on YouTube. It hasn't done well enough to justify a sequel, if that makes sense. Bit like Han Solo the movie, which I haven't watched yet, but I'm not optimistic about it. Don't know if any of you have watched it, but I don't want to. I don't even know if I want to watch it. I love Star Wars, but I don't know if I want to watch Han Solo the movie. It feels unnecessary, and that's what Natsuki the movie 2 would be like, a potential unnecessary episode in the ongoing saga. I saw Deadpool yesterday. My reward to myself for finishing Natsuki the movie was watch Deadpool 2, eat a Domino's pizza, and yes, that's how I rewarded myself for this massive project. And Deadpool 2 was, it was all right, 7 out of 10. Too many jokes that kind of derailed some of it, but yeah, it was all right. Solo was a great movie, says Adam. Well, I can't throw my 2 cents in yet, but I'll let you know. As soon as I watched it, I'll let you know. Justin says, I thought Solo was a lot better than the other ones. Well, Solo was great. A little bit unnecessary, but it was surprising. Wow. All right. Maybe Han Solo the movie could work then. Crikey. It is an hour since we started, guys. Usually I finish an hour in, but I'm happy to go on a bit longer. Obviously, if you've got to go, thanks for joining. Have a lovely Saturday, and thanks for joining us. But I will carry on till past whatever the time it is where you are. I'll carry on for another 20, 30 minutes because I feel like I haven't got through lots of questions. But if you've got to go, thanks for joining, guys, and have a lovely day. But for the rest of you guys that can stay, I'll carry on going through your questions. So do shoot ahead, go ahead. And you can just watch me gradually get drunker and hotter. And yes, God, why haven't I put the air conditioning on? This is a schoolboy error, dickhead error. Why didn't Natsuki Google Sid Vicious? We didn't read that one out. In making the movie, in what area did you struggle the most? The area I struggled the most was making the narrative work. Yeah, as I said before, trying to make it work. Oh yeah, one question I have for you guys. What was your favourite line in Natsuki the movie? What was your favourite line? And there was, God knows, there was some entertaining, wacky lines in there. I think my line had to be when he's got the Chupa Chups lollipop, and he says, "I'm eccentric power. I have eccentric power." I don't know what that means. I don't know how making a Chupa Chups lollipop levitate on your hand is eccentric power. But I love that line. I don't know why. I don't know how he makes it up. And also when he's pointing at the dog in the big painting in the Louvre, and he's like, "This is Jesus's Christ's dog," whatever the fuck that means. I think he was trying to say this is Jesus Christ's dog, and kind of mumbled his lines a bit. Jesus Christ's dog, Christ. But yeah, favorite lines. Did you also try skydiving? It says Anonymous Hero. I didn't. I know. I'd love to have tried skydiving. I'd love to have tried it, but I was filming it, so yeah. But like, it was nice. I lived vicariously through Natsuki's experience of seeing him and his wife skydive, and they had a great time until Natsuki fucked his neck. And actually, that's one thing I didn't talk about. One thing that went spectacularly wrong off camera, after Natsuki did his neck in and ruined his neck, we cut to the acupuncture guy, Mr. Terry, and all that, right? But that was actually a day later. The rest of that day, we went and filmed in Brighton because Stonehenge isn't too far away from Brighton. And Natsuki was in so much pain. Filming was really hard because he was just looking like crap. He could barely talk because he was holding his neck. And when we went skydiving, then we went to Stonehenge, then we went to Brighton. And we cut Stonehenge short because he was literally walking around Stonehenge, clutching his neck, screaming. He was screaming, "Ah, fuck!" And it was really bad. Like, at first, me and Pete, the cameraman, we were laughing. We thought, oh, it's just quite funny. Like, that good old Natsuki, what's he like? And then it turned out, oh shit, maybe Natsuki's actually fractured his neck or something. And we were really worried. So we went all the way from Stonehenge to Brighton. And the first thing we did was we had to take Natsuki to Brighton Hospital, which isn't a nice hospital. It's a really horrible place. The people that work there are lovely. God bless them. But the conditions there are awful. And actually going to Brighton Hospital for 4 hours, where we sat in accident and emergency, A&E with Natsuki, it made me vote Labour. Made me change my entire political beliefs because I was just like, wow, this hospital's fucked. They really need more money. And so it kind of made me change my entire political beliefs for that election, and because it was the election period in the UK then, and I voted for the party that wanted to spend more money on the NHS, on the National Health Service, as a result of Natsuki going there and fucking his neck. And it was horrible. And we had this, originally Brighton was going to be really good. We had this plan where Natsuki was going to stand in the high street in Brighton and like do a magic show. We made it, we at great expense, we spent like £200 on these really cool banners with like Natsuki's magic show on. We had it printed in like a really cool banner. And I didn't know how it was going to work, really. We were just going to literally turn up at Brighton, have Natsuki stand in the street and do his magic show, which is basically Natsuki with a Chupa Chups lollipop and his trick he does with his finger where he makes his finger disappear. And yeah, we had to cancel that because of his neck. So yeah, it was a disaster, really. Absolute fucking disaster. So that was a shame. And for the rest of the time I was filming, another reason filming didn't go well was even in France, Natsuki wasn't in a good condition, shall we say. He was in pain. He was swearing a lot. He wasn't in a good place. And, yeah, it made filming really hard. So when we got to the Louvre, we got to the Louvre, and I looked up how to get into the Louvre early. We got these special quick access tickets because the Mona Lisa in the Louvre gets stupidly busy really quickly. And I was like, right, we got to get to the Louvre really quickly before anyone gets there so I can film you in front of it. And we pulled it off. We queued up early. We got the special fast pass tickets into the Louvre in Paris, and we ran through the museum. The doors opened. And I was like, quick, Natsuki, let's go. I was running through the museum. And Natsuki was a little bit behind me, clutching his neck, like, oh, fuck, ah, in pain, even though he had like morphine pills or something to try and help with the pain. And we got in front of the Mona Lisa, and it was literally just me, Natsuki, and like 2 other people in front of the Mona Lisa, the world's most famous painting. Me and Natsuki, like a meter away from the Mona Lisa, and I was like, this is it, this is perfect. And I was like, right, let's go. And I got the camera on him. I was like, and go. What do you think, Natsuki? What do you think of the Mona Lisa? And he sort of mumbled and said something like, Mona Lisa. He went, this is the Mona Lisa. I was like, no, we need more energy. What do you think? This is amazing. This is the world's most famous painting. I was like, go on, let's do it again. Go again. And he just went, oh, fuck, Nandial. Went mental. And it's the first time I've ever seen Natsuki lose his shit. And I was like, whoa, shit, I've pissed off Natsuki. I've never seen this before. I've pushed and I've tried Natsuki many a time in my life, and even on that trip. And that was the first and only time Natsuki lost his shit at me. And I was like, oh, shit, I've pissed off Natsuki. And we had to like let Natsuki calm down for like 10 minutes in front of the Mona Lisa. I was like, all right, well, you get back to normal for a minute, because his neck was fucked. And he was running through the Louvre. He was tired. He was worn out. He was in pain. And I was expecting him to do some sort of funny, brilliant commentary. And yeah, so We got some all right stuff in front of the Mona Lisa, but it wasn't that good, and that was just because he was in pain and he wasn't in a good mood, and that was a real shame. So yeah, but thankfully he saw the painting opposite with the dog and the mussel. So that was that kind of saved the scene in the Louvre. If we hadn't had that painting behind the Mona Lisa and the dog, Jesus Christ's dog, or the mussel, I don't think the Louvre would have worked. I might even have taken that scene out altogether. So yeah. How is his neck today? Says Rugby Spalarin. His neck's fine now. It took him about 3 weeks to get his neck in normal working order. I felt really bad for him, to be honest. Like, I can't imagine what it's like to land on your head directly when wearing a helmet, like bang, like that. Oh, God, it must have fucking hurt. I remember he came out and the pain took a few minutes to register, right? So he did it, and it took about 10 minutes, and then like suddenly he was in just incredible pain, and he pulled off the helmet, and he was like, "Rah!" So yeah, poor old Natsuki, but he recovered, and he's fine now. But there you go. But actually, filming in the Louvre wasn't too bad. Storm Knight says, worst site to film at? No, it was actually all right. Filming in the Louvre wasn't too bad. I thought, because it's the Mona Lisa, right? I thought, oh, there's no way we're going to be able to film in front of the Mona Lisa. And it's fine. You can actually film, you can take pictures. It's great. And it was pretty awesome. Like, if you haven't been to Paris, or if you are going to Paris, I definitely recommend checking it out. It's really weird being a meter away from the most iconic painting in the world. It's like, wow, this is weird. And, you know, hopefully Natsuki one day can fulfill his dream of having the Mona Lisa in his shop. But as he said in the film, it's a big dream to have the Mona Lisa in his shop next to his guitar. You're going to fracture your neck too if you keep slamming back that strong zero, Mr. Broad. That'd be right. I think I'm 2/3 in, and like the last live stream, this live stream ends when the strong zero ends as well. So I better hurry up, haven't I? Any more comments? But yeah, I mean, it was fun. Have you got any more questions, guys? Shoot. I'm gonna read your comments and questions now while I finish some more strong zero. So do go ahead. I'll probably wrap things up in about 10 or 15 minutes. So this is your chance to go, ask things, shoot. Is the Snow White dog toy still in his salon? No, unfortunately. He took down the Snow White dog toy things in January. That was really good though. I didn't ask him to do that either. When I turned up to film the scenes of him writing the song at Christmas, they were just there around the Christmas tree in the shop window, and I was like, yes, this looks amazing. And I really like that moment where it cuts from Paris to just like the snowy blizzard, horrible, like North Japan in winter is horrible. Don't come to North Japan in winter. But it was a big blizzard, and it just looked really cool having like the weird, expensive €300 dog toys in the window with the snow blowing in front. Yeah. Jonathan says, any updates on the cycle across Japan? Yes. So I suppose a lot of you might be wondering what is going on now. What are we doing now? Now Natsuki the movie's finished. It's weird. It's like, as I said before, it's like a weight has lifted, and it's so big that I don't even feel like it's lifted yet. But I've already begun planning the next major project. So what I will say about Natsuki the movie, one thing it did change about me is from now on, at every time, from now on, I always want to be doing one major project, right? I always want to be pushing myself, challenging myself in new ways. Before Natsuki the movie, I kind of had a 2-year period where not a lot was really going on. I didn't feel like I'd push myself. And the next way I'm going to push myself is cycling across Japan for 1 month, maybe more than a month. And I've actually been talking to some people about this and how it's going to work logistically and what I want to do and what my aim is from doing it. But I think it could be really fucking good. Like, cycling across Japan is always something I've wanted to do. And there's no way I could do it tomorrow. I'd die I haven't even got a bike, so that's pretty crap start to cycling across Japan. And I'm certainly not fit enough to do it. But I'm going to do it at the end of September to early October. I think around it's got to be September, October, probably October, because September's a bit of a rainy season. So October ticks all the boxes and the temperature's right. And what I want to do is cycle from Yamagata in the north, from the town of Sakata, where I used to live and where Natsuki is, cycle from Sakata all the way down to Kagoshima in the south of Kyushu. It would take about a month. It's 2,000 kilometers, and I want to do it. I want to make it into a vlog. So I want to do at least one video every day. And you might be thinking, "There's no way you're going to do that. No way." Like knowing my track record. But I'm actually going to get like a production team with me along the way. I've actually got some people lined up to help. I'm probably going to have like a little camera production crew that are going to help me with the logistics and help me film it. But I really want to do. I really want to have it filmed every day, not just a vlog every day on the channel, like showing where we are and what's going on, but also do things like live streams every day. I'm going to set up a Twitch account, I think, in August or maybe soon. And I will stream on Twitch every day as well for like half an hour and talk about the day's trip. And the idea is it'll be like you're there when you watch this, and you can follow the whole journey across various social media, and it'll feel like you're there kind of on the journey with us, with me, like, and whoever I go with, going across Japan. I think that could be really fun. I think that could be really cool. And meet people along the way. And I've got to do like challenges. It'd be quite cool to do like a challenge, like meet at least one person every day, one stranger, and interview them. Try at least one local dish every day in that area where we are, and do things like that. Try and do a little challenge every day, and make it fun so that you want to watch each and every episode of this kind of 30-part series. And I'm also getting someone for the first time ever to edit the videos for me. So rather than me editing, filming, and doing everything, I'll have someone who can help with the camera. I'll have someone that can edit on the go, and then all I have to do is just present and cycle. And those two things alone are probably going to finish me off and kill me anyway. So yeah, so that's my vision for that, and I'm going to announce that probably in about a week or two on YouTube. And I've already started getting fit by walking for 20 minutes a day. That's pretty crap, isn't it? But I'm going to start running soon. yeah. I've got to get into shape quick. I've got like 3 months, right? And I'm probably gonna have to speak to a specialist or like a trainer or someone to try and work out how the fuck I'm gonna do it. But anyway, let's dive into the comments and see what you guys have said about this. Did you notice how many bloody Patreons were named Alexander in the closing credits? No, but I did notice how many people are called Chris. There's loads of people named Chris and Alexander. And it's amazing going through the. If you look at the end of Natsuki the movie and you've got the credits, there's about 4,000 people on that list in the closing credits, and that's 6 or 7 minutes of footage or 6-minute credit sequence in 3 columns, no less, of all the names. And that really put it in perspective how many people have supported the channel over the last 2 years. And that's amazing. So that's really cool. What happened with those gentleman dickheads with stealing your For Fuck's Sake t-shirt design? Did I talk about that in last month's pod? In last month's live thingamajig? Probably not. So for those of you that don't know, the legendary For Fuck's Sake t-shirt design, designed by David, who is probably somewhere in the comment section, like he always is, hidden away. It was stolen by these bastards called the Tasteless Gentlemen. You can look them up on Twitter or Facebook, whatever. There's some guys that do some sort of shitty podcast. It is shit, like, objectively speaking. It's shit. Go and look at it. The Tasteless Gentlemen. Type that into YouTube. Watch it. It's just 4 guys sitting in a room talking about how brilliant they are for fucking someone and doing some drugs. It's fucking idiots. I nearly tore into them in a video. I was getting really excited, actually. The first chance to do something where I got to attack someone in a long time outside of the hate mail videos. But they started selling the For Fuck's Sake t-shirt design literally almost a copy paste replica of our most popular design through their t-shirt store. And a viewer from the channel sent me a picture on Instagram because they were promoting it on their Instagram account, which has 1 million people on it because they post loads of stolen jokes and content every day, and that gets them viewers. Apparently, they probably bought a lot of those people as well. But yeah, they were promoting this T-shirt, the Fucksaki T-shirt design, on their Instagram stories to 1 million people, and yeah, I was not happy about that at all, as you'd imagine. Like, the T-shirt designs get stolen all the time and sold by little crappy vendors and lots of idiots. But this was serious because it was an actual company, serious people with serious followers selling our designs. So I went ballistic, and it kind of wiped a day or two off of my editing schedule because I was like, what am I going to do? So I went on social media, I went on Facebook, I went on Twitter, I went on Instagram, and I was like, oh, they really are tasteless. Nice one. You really are tasteless, gentlemen, aren't you? Well done, guys, for stealing the T-shirt design. And the response really reignited my faith in humanity, because the response was amazing. People emailed them, people tweeted them, people harassed them on Facebook. They were like, you've stolen this design. This is shit. Why are you guys doing this? And loads of people called them out for it. And after 2 or 3 days, the design was gone. So clearly they saw this reaction and then realized they had to deal with it. So that was really encouraging. And I was so happy. And I felt really proud of the community, the kind of abroad in Japan community and the followers, everyone. I felt really proud for once. I was like, wow, this is amazing. This community is brilliant. Like, it kind of hit home how lucky I am to have such great people who are part of everything, part of the abroad in Japan community, you know. So yeah, a situation that was awful, twats stealing the design, it turned out quite well. It reignited my faith in humanity. It made me really happy and lucky, made me realise how lucky I am to have such a good community. And it temporarily boosted T-shirt sales on our own merchandise store as well, because people were like, oh, well, I'm going to buy a T-shirt from the abroad in Japan merchandise store now. So that was good. So terrible thing happened, but 3 good things came out of it. So we kind of won. But if they had kept the T-shirt design up there, I was going to make a video and I was going to go fucking mental. So, yeah. But there you go. That's the story of the T-shirts. The story of the stolen T-shirt design. The internet is a terrible place sometimes. But, yeah. Anyway, back to the cycle. Running. You should start running to the nearest Domino's, says Scrublet. Yeah. What better way to get fit for a 1,700 kilometer cycle than running to Domino's every day? Amazing. Live streams are a brilliant idea. Maybe 1 video a day is overkill, but live streams every day and maybe a video a week, says Imola. It might seem like overkill. Like, I know I don't make that many videos that often just because I always try and do quality over quantity. But if I have a production team, if I have some people with me, I think we could do a video every day, and I think we could do a live stream every day quite comfortably. So that's the target. That's the aim anyway. And hopefully by then I have 1 million subscribers. So that'd be cool. That'd be like a way to celebrate 1 million subscribers. I'm going to cycle to the death for 2,000 kilometers. Justin says, I'm in your credits. I'm in your credits twice because I actually paid on 2 different accounts. Great. Well done, Justin. You beat the system. Yeah. Congratulations. Sadly, I've seen quite a few places stealing the Fucksaki T-shirt design. Yeah, I know, it happens quite a lot. The actual Fucksaki T-shirt actually got featured on what was it called? The 9gag. That's it. Fucksaki T-shirt got featured on 9gag, and then loads of people stole it from there, or it kind of inspired people to steal it, I think. So yeah, 9gag, swings and roundabouts. Yeah. Tasteless pricks, says Emma. Yeah, that's right. You tell them. Tasteless pricks. They're based in San Diego, and I was gonna send Natsuki to San Diego with his plastic katana sword to sort this shit out and deal with the tasteless gentleman if they didn't get rid of the T-shirt. That could have been Natsuki the movie too, couldn't it? Natsuki flying to San Diego with his plastic katana sword to deliver justice to the tasteless gentleman I'd pay for that. I'd fund that. I'd definitely fund that film. Yeah, it's almost a shame they got rid of the design now because there's a lot of possibilities that are coming out of this. Maybe it's the strong zero. Let's bring out these ideas. Oh dear. Any more questions, guys? Scrublet says, "What do you think of Natsuki's new video on Tokyo Creative?" Um, I'm guessing you're referring to Natsuki's video on Tokyo Creative, the new channel that him and I are often on. Yeah, they brought out a video called Great Teacher Natsuki or something. It was kind of like a parody of Great Teacher Onizuka, and it didn't really work. Obviously I love the Tokyo Creative team. They're such awesome guys. I think there's at least one of them in the comment section somewhere. But I mean, yeah, I don't think it really worked, and they know it didn't work that well. But that we live and learn from our mistakes, don't we? It was a bit too chaotic. You can see it if you just type in, like, if you go to the Tokyo Creative YouTube channel, which myself and Natsuki are on quite a lot. Yeah, it didn't work that well. It wasn't that great, and they know that, and so it won't happen again. But generally all the videos we've made with Tokyo Creative so far have been pretty good, and they're really great folks, and it's nice. It's nice to have Natsuki not just on Abroad in Japan channel, but actually somewhere else, right? Like, my dream for Natsuki was always for him to be famous as a performer, as a kind of stand-up performer personality. And the fact that he's on another channel now, as well as Abroad in Japan, is really exciting, I think. So, yeah, that's cool. Hopefully, they've got another video coming out where Natsuki and some other people did some karaoke session in the middle of Shibuya Crossing. Again, I wasn't there, so I don't know what it was like, but hopefully it should be quite fun. The video sounds great, so we shall see. But yeah, did you take a drone to Europe? I thought I saw some drone shots in London, says Real Clown. I didn't take a drone to Europe. In fact, all of the drone shots, except the one in Japan, I bought from the internet. It's just stock footage because I don't even have a drone. In fact, the drone footage at the start of the film is my friend Yuki. You might know Yuki. He's the guy who was in the video eating the Marmite, and the guy with the tiny beer. He drinks little beers. He's awesome. But yeah, he's got a drone, and he shot that footage for me, and yeah, it was great. But I still don't have a drone, and I was very, very close last week to buying a drone, and then I was just like, nah, I don't need it. It just wouldn't work for what I do. So yeah. And as Ben White has pointed out, I could have just stolen Chris Okano's drone. Exactly. If I need a drone, I'll just steal Chris Okano. Chris Okano's drone. I won't steal Chris Okano. I don't know why anyone would ever steal Chris Okano. But yeah, no, the drone was thanks to Yuki. And if you look at the closing credit sequence before the 4 million Patreon names come up, there's Yuki's name for the drone. So yeah. What drone? Says Storm Knight. The drone in the film. What drone were you looking at? Oh, right. I was looking at the Mavic Air drone. I think it's like $700, the Mavic Air. It's a great drone, but again, I don't know how it would work. I don't really know. Maybe if I film a video with me and Natsuki doing something, I can have the drone like in his salon, flying around his hair salon. That would be fucking fun. But yeah, I don't need a drone, to be honest. Yeah. More questions? More. I'm still drinking the strong. This is dreadful. I'm drinking so slowly. It's pathetic. So feel free to throw some more questions at me, guys. Tai says, how about an initial cycling run in the Shimanami Kaido? Might get something from there. Yes, the cycle from Honshu to Shikoku, which I've done before, 100 kilometers in a day. I might do that as training for the 2,000 kilometer cycle. Yeah. And obviously, for the cycle across Japan, I would use a drone for that. Chris Okano's drone or Yuki's drone. But I wouldn't buy a drone for that. That's where Chris Okano comes in. And actually, Chris Okano would be one of the people joining me on the cycle as a behind-the-scenes production guy. So, yes, if you like Chris Okano, it'll be fantastic. You're going to love the journey. And if you don't like Chris Okano, you're fucked. It'll probably be there. Are you coming to Hyper Japan London this summer? Says Imola. I'm not coming to Hyper Japan. I think I was invited 2 or 3 years ago to do something there or talk about it, but no, I've never been to Hyper Japan either. I don't even really know what it is. I know it's a big Japan event in London, and I imagine quite a lot of people that go watch these videos, given it's one of the only channels about Japan, right? So, yeah, maybe I should go at some point. If Hyper Japan flew me to London first class, I would go, but that ain't gonna happen because first class from Japan to the UK is so much money. I don't think Hyper Japan could afford it. I don't know how anyone could afford flying first class between Tokyo and London. To be honest, it's like £5,000 or $5,000. How far do you reckon you'll cycle every day on your 2,000-kilometre cycle? It says Rugby Spalarian. I will cycle about 50 kilometres a day. And now somebody's going to do the maths and realise that that isn't enough to complete the project or do it in a month. But yeah, probably like 50, 60, 70 kilometres a day. And also because it will obviously rain a few times. As somebody pointed out in the comment section, it does rain quite a lot in October, which could fuck things up. So we'll have to factor in rain. I think I'm going to try and set aside 40 days actually for the cycle. So we've got a bit of leeway. And actually, at the end of the cycle, I forgot to mention this, Pete Donaldson from the podcast and from Natsuki the movie, the legendary Absolute Radio DJ, he's coming to Japan. And we're going to get Pete Donaldson to either join in the last leg of the cycle or just meet me at the finishing line in Kagoshima in Kyushu. So that'd be quite fun, just like arriving dead in Kagoshima, 20 kilograms lighter, and have Pete Donaldson standing there going, doing what Pete Donaldson does. So that'd be cool. Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be the perfect way to end the cycle. Get some Pete Donaldson. So yeah. I used to work for the airlines and only flew first class. Wah ha ha, says Adam. But now I don't fly first class. So ha ha ha, Adam. You lucky devil. I hate when you come to Japan and you fly with ANA or Japan Airlines, you find that Japan Airlines and ANA have so many business class seats, more than most normal airlines. I think it's because a lot of people traveling between Japan and Europe and America are often business folk. So you end up walking through so many business seats. You got first class and business seats, and it just never ends. And then right at the back, there's just a few last rows in fucking economy peasant class. And it's all the more bitter. You feel all the more bitter for it, walking through like 150 business class seats to get there. So, yeah, flying with Japan Airlines and ANA is always a little bit bitter. I don't know if it's the same for American Airlines coming to Japan, but yeah, those two airlines, I always find there's just a ridiculous amount of business class. It's $10,000 to $20,000 round trip from New York to Narita. Fucking hell, that's insane. Who can afford 20,000? Don't know who can afford such things. Or why? Who would spend $10,000, $20,000 on a seat for like 12 hours? Seriously. Is there a trait of Pete's that you admire or wish you had for yourself? Says female Fox 66. I admire Pete Donaldson's ability to always be upbeat and funny and have something to say. He's very quick-witted. If you listen to the podcasts, which you definitely should, every Wednesday, Pete is very, very fast and like quick on the. What do you got? Quick on the ball. On the ball. Yeah, he's on the ball. It sounds my intonation fucked that phrase up. On the ball. Yeah, Pete's very fast. He's very quick-witted. I suppose he has to be, given the people he interviews, like Bryan Cranston. And last week he interviewed Emilia Clarke from Game of Thrones and Solo the movie. He interviewed Emilia Clarke and he said that Emilia Clarke was rather nice. So yeah, that's what I admire about Pete. He's always happy and he's very fast at thinking up lines. But he has to be, right, for his job. And I was talking to him about it. Like he has to watch loads of films, right? Because when a famous actor or celebrity, whatever, comes in and talks about their film, he has to usually go and watch it, and then he has to, like, if you watch a lot of TV, if you watch a lot of presenters interview an actor for their film, you have to be really positive about it, right? Like, oh, just watched your film. It was brilliant. It was the best film I've ever seen. even though it was shit. And I don't think I would be able to do that. I think I'm far too cynical. Like, I would sit down opposite Emilia Clarke, for example. If I sat down opposite Emilia Clarke after Terminator Genesis, or whatever the fuck it was called, Genesis, I'd go, "Oh, I saw Terminator. Yeah, it was. Oh, it was different, wasn't it? Yeah, it was pretty shit, to be honest. $150 million wasted, wasn't it?" And then it would be a bit awkward. So yeah, I'd have trouble doing his job. So fair play to him. God, Terminator was bad. He isn't as kiss ass as Jimmy Fallon though. So bravo, says Rooksteps. Yes, he's no Jimmy Fallon. Like, I suppose fair play to Pete when he is being positive and talking to celebrities about their crappy films. A lot of crappy films. He does it in a way that doesn't feel too fake. You know, he does it. He tries to find something about the film that he liked, rather than just saying, "Oh, it was a really good film. I really enjoyed it. Amazing film." He'll sort of say, "Oh, I liked that it had a scene about this, or it had this." So he's a lot more authentic. Yeah. Anyway, enough about Pete. Pete Donaldson Appreciation Society. Oh man. Any last questions, guys? I'm going to wrap things up in a minute. I've still got some questions to go through on here that people have sent in. Will there ever be a Real Troll movie? No. Would it be reasonable to believe that there will be a trip to America for Natsuki and yourself, at least in the years to come? I'd say there's a 3 or 4. I don't even know how to say odds anymore. I'd say there's a 30% chance that we'll make Natsuki the 2 in America. Thing is, if we did go to America, it'd be quite daunting because I don't know my way around America that well, and it's all well and good coming to like the UK because I know it, I know my way around. But I think if we did America, I'd need some sort of American person, somebody to help us in America. To be fair, half of you guys in the Patreon community are American anyway, so that could help. So that might not be too hard. But yeah, there's that added difficulty of not knowing my way around America. But yeah, I don't know really. Could just get Natsuki doing fan meetups across America, like one in New York, one in Texas, one in LA, one in San Francisco or Seattle. So yeah, it could be quite cool. I mean, it would be fun. I personally would love to go to America. So maybe Natsuki the Movie 2 could be my excuse to go, right? It's like my excuse to go. The thing is, if we did do it, I would need to get Natsuki to take more than 5 days off this time. So I think if we did America, Natsuki would need at least 2 weeks off. I wouldn't do it unless Natsuki took off 2 weeks, and then I might consider it. We'll see. I'll talk to Natsuki about it and run it over with him. I think it'd be a lot easier to make this time. Now that we've done it once, we've learnt a lot, right? It could be fun, but what would we do? How would we do it in America? Sophie in the comment section says, "I volunteer for touring around New Zealand. No one ever comes here." I'd love to go to New Zealand. That'd be fucking awesome. Somebody sent me a message saying, "Why don't you make Natsuki the Movie 2?" There it is. Why don't you make Natsuki the Movie 2 in New Zealand? Because it's better than Australia. I think I'd probably prefer New Zealand because no spiders or snakes, or at least far less than Australia. But yeah, I don't know. America's way too big for 1 week. Same with Australia. Hawaii is only an 8-hour flight, but the thing is, Natsuki's already been to Hawaii, right? So we can't really do Hawaii. Yeah, Natsuki the Movie 2, trip to New York, something like that. Can we expect it being released before 2020? Says Marcin. What year is it now? 2018. If we did do Natsuki the Movie 2, we'd probably film it in 2019. And because we would do it better this time, probably only take 3 or 4 months to put together. So yeah, I think we could probably, if we did do it, you could probably get it done by 2019. But I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, something to think about, isn't it? I filmed a podcast with Pete yesterday for next Wednesday. We always film about a week in advance. And one thing I said to him was, because this question came up, he said like, "Oh yeah, do Natsuki the Movie 2." And I said, well, Daniel Craig, after the last James Bond film, he said he'd rather slit his wrists than do another Bond film. And now he's doing the next Bond film, right? It's out like next year. And I said, I feel like that. I'd rather slit my wrist than do Natsuki the movie 2. But you never know. After 6 months, after a year, it might seem a lot more like a good idea. So we shall see. We shall see. But it depends on you guys in the Patreon community, really, because it would be Patreon funded. So it would be up to you to decide. And America seems like the most likely place because most of the viewers of this channel, most of the people on Patreon, most of everyone who likes the Abroad in Japan channel is actually American. I think 30% of the channel's demographics are, 30% of all of our viewers are American. So it would make perfect sense to go to America. And I think it'd be quite fun to film in New York. I'd love to film in LA, but we'll see. We will see. But yeah. All right, I'm going to wrap things up, guys. I'll end it in 5 minutes. Any last questions? Shoot. Go for it. I don't think I can finish this. I feel really, really hot, and I've got a killer headache. This is another thing about Strong Zero. It gives you a headache. I don't know why. I think it's because it's carbonated. Carbonated, fizzy shit. Yeah, that's another reason I don't drink it that often. But I do think these live shows have got better ever since I started drinking whilst doing them. So, yeah. Anyway, last questions, guys. Dive in. Make a new movie with Wes Anderson. Make a new movie with Wes Anderson style. What would that entail? Just lots of symmetrical shots of Natsuki sitting in a chair with symmetry and nice symmetry and wacky characters that don't make sense. I'm seeing Isle of Dogs tomorrow, finally, going back to Wes Anderson. So, yes, finally. It only took 3 months after everybody else had seen it. A good way to grow Patreon is to do meetups while you travel in America. Yeah, I would like to do meetups, but it's also quite scary. What if someone who hates me, what if the tasteless gentleman kill me? Or like come and shout at me in San Diego? So I don't know. Yeah. That's a stupid reason not to do a meetup. Do you plan to learn any Japanese martial arts? Says Kath. That's a good question. I don't know. It's not on my hit list right now. If I did do a Japanese martial art, it would be karate, just because before I came to Japan, I had a slight obsession with the Karate Kid, and I always dreamed of meeting a Japanese guy like Mr. Miyagi, the mentor of Karate Kid, and having him like train me up on the beach and stuff and shit. But it didn't happen. I didn't meet Mr. Miyagi. I met Natsuki, and all Natsuki taught me was how to drink and smoke a great deal, which isn't quite as good as Mr. Miyagi. So no, I don't know. Maybe I'd like to do it, but it's not on my hit list right now. Drink more Strong Zero to get rid of the headaches, says Emma. Yeah, because that's a great way to get rid of your alcoholic headache. Drink more alcohol. Rook Steps said LA would bankrupt you with stress and debt. Yeah, I'm kind of torn on LA. On the one hand, I'd like to go and look at LA. On the other hand, I don't think I'd like LA. It seems very intense. And like one street, it's like Beverly Hills, beautiful. The other street, not so good. It seems there's a very high level of disparity. And I don't know. I'm kind of torn on LA. I'd like to go at some point. Ryotaro the movie? No, Ryotaro the movie. But there will be more Ryotaro movies coming out soon. So there'll be plenty more of him. Don't you worry. What happened to the AK-47 from Tokyo Creative? That's a good question, actually. I don't know. I think I gave it to Tokyo Creative, and it's mounted on their wall now as like a piece of memorabilia. Natsuki the video game? No. What would Natsuki the video game look like? Drink and smoke as much as you can to win. Any plans on the next live show? Any plans on the next live show with Natsuki with a proper internet connection? Potentially. I'm filming with Natsuki in 2 weeks. We're making a video. I didn't tell you this. The next video I'm making with Natsuki is about pachinko, the Japanese game, the Japanese obsession, which involves like a pinball machine. And to be honest, I don't particularly like it. It's Natsuki again. Now Natsuki's ringing me. But we're making a video next month about pachinko. I should have picked up that call. That would have been a nice way to end it, wouldn't it? Just having Natsuki on the live show. But then again, he's probably It's 11:40 p.m. here, so Natsuki's probably a little bit drunk, and it can go very badly wrong. So yeah, I won't answer that for now. Ken Watanabe the movie, yeah, I'd love to meet Ken Watanabe still. I saw Rachel and June do a video about kendo. That was fascinating. I haven't seen that. I'd love to do kendo actually. Kendo would be cool. I could delude myself as I like wave the stick around. I could pretend like I'm some sort of Jedi, you know, waving a lightsaber. That'd be the main incentive to do kendo, to pretend to be a Jedi. When's the next Abroad Japan video? Yes, good thing to end it on. So the next video is in about 10 to 14 days, and it's just called, I think it's going to be called Starting New Things, which is a bit of a clickbait title, inevitably. But I'm going to be starting new things, right? Like the cycle. So I want to talk about that, and that's the new video that's coming out. And then there's going to be the Pachinko video with Natsuki. And before that, though, there are 2 Patreon exclusive videos. One is a Q&A, which may not be might not be of interest to you guys now, given that you've had a Q&A live. But I'm doing a Q&A video answering people's questions from Patreon about Natsuki the movie. Although it'll be edited and it will have like behind the scenes clips as well, so it'll be good. And I've also got another Patreon exclusive video called 10 Things I Learned from Natsuki the Movie, and it's going to be me talking about what I learned from Natsuki the Movie, intercut with behind the scenes clips and commentary and stuff. So for those of you that want to see kind of behind the scenes, what is that? What's going on with that hair? God's sake, stupid hair. There we go. Dear, oh dear. So yeah, that video is coming out next week, and it's just going to be me talking about what I learned and behind the scenes stuff. And then I'm going to draw a line there under Natsuki the movie, and we'll never talk about it again for a while. So yeah, that's what's coming up next. 2 Patreon exclusives, a video talking about the massive cycle and announcing that to everyone, and yeah. And Natsuki's messaged me again. He's going mental. He says, "Promote Life is Balloons on iTunes, please, now." Okay, crikey. Natsuki's put his song on iTunes, and he really wants me to promote it. So I've got to do that next. After I finish the Strong Zero in the live chat, I've got to go and work out how to do that. Lucky me. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap things up now. So thanks for joining. It's been a lot of fun. There'll be another live show at the end of this month. This one, it's in June, but it's really the May live show, as I said in the Patreon post. I thought it'd be quite fun to do the live show 2 days after Natsuki the movie came out, so we could kind of talk about it while it's still fresh in our minds. But there will be another Patreon live chat, Google Hangout, towards the end of June. So stick around for that. And yes, 2 Patreon exclusive next week, and at least another 2 or 3 YouTube videos, standard YouTube videos coming out as well. But for now, no matter where you might be out there in the big wide world, thanks for joining for nearly 2 hours. For those of you that stayed on, well done. It's weird because a lot of you guys are in America and Europe, so it must be like 9 or 10 a.m. in America right now, I think, right? So you've literally crawled out of bed, some of you, coffee in hand, and Patreon live stream on the other. What are you doing for the rest of the day? What are you doing, guys? Jonathan, Imola, Sophie, Emma, Mr. Clown, Berry, Danny, what are you doing for the rest of the day? Put me out my misery. Tell me what you're doing while I finish this. 9:45 a.m. says Erica. So that means you're on the American East Coast. Exercise and paramotoring. Wow, that's quite cool. Grocery shopping. Assignments, says John. That sounds cool. That sounds a lot cooler than it should be. Like some sort of fucking hitman. Assignments. Taking out the Prime Minister of Belgium. It's probably not that, though. It's probably not that, though, is it, John? Jonathan Zissa says, going to meet some friends and do an escape the room. Escape the room. I did that 2 years ago, I think, and I made a video about it. And then they made me pull the video, the bastards, because apparently I showed too much of the escape room and the puzzles. So damn them all to hell. Imola's going cycling. Very nice. See, it's that kind of mindset I need to in the run up to the 2,000-kilometer cycle. Sleeping all day, says Saber Mal. I've just hit level 65 on Final Fantasy 1 million, so it's time for a break. Very good. A job well done. I want to play God of War, says Mr. Fujisawa. Sophie says, sleeping, it's 3 a.m. Where the fuck are you, Sophie? 3 a.m.? Ah, New Zealand, of course. I'm going to sit outside in the sun and read, says Adam. You lucky devil. That's my dream, to sit outside and read. Don't know why I didn't do it today. I should have done it. Ben says it's almost bedtime in Australia. Yeah. Barbecue outside. It's summer. Farmer's market. Heavily procrastinated coursework. Only 8:45 a.m. here, says Adam. So presumably in America. William is going to see Solo the movie. Hope it's good. Judging by guys in the comment section, Solo's actually all right. Going out for my mate's birthday, says Emma. Have a good one. I'm going to rewatch Natsuki the movie. What else, says Pinch. Yeah, rewatch Natsuki movie. Safe in the knowledge, or with the knowledge of all the stuff I've just told you. So you go back and watch it. See where Natsuki's wife's in it. Go and watch the music video and see scenes where Natsuki's not in sync with it and stuff. You can now look at it with a different perspective, I hope. Nothing. I had scouts this morning, says Daikim. I'm in Asia, says your beloved senpai. Drinking and a miniature painting, playing Dauntless. Going to talk to pilots at the base. That sounds cool. Talk to pilots at the base. Wow. Pilots, what base? Where? How? When? I want to know. Airbase. Playing Dark Souls and Canada. Not America, says Adam. Yeah, of course. Has Natsuki the movie been remonetized, says Kath. No, not yet. No, it hasn't. As I said, I made $5.95 from Natsuki the movie, which is really annoying because it's an hour long, so the ad revenue should be significant, and I was banking on that ad revenue going towards the production costs, but oh well, can't have it all, I suppose. Tidying up Volcano Lair. Yes, Little Rock Airbase. Little Rock Airbase. I'm going to look that up later. As for me, I've got Civilization 6 on iPad, and I'm going to be playing that probably. And yeah, finishing this and probably going to bed. What an exciting Saturday evening for me. But for now, guys, Little Rock, Arkansas. That makes sense. For now, guys, I keep dragging it out. That's how you know I'm a little bit drunk, because I'm just doing a really shit job of ending this live stream. And yet I still haven't finished this. I'm just going to put it there. Yes. Right. Awesome, guys. Have a good day. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the rest of it. Look out for the 2 videos next week. The first video should be out Tuesday or Wednesday. Second video should be out Friday or Saturday. I am going to be spending time on them, so they're actually going to be good Patreon exclusives. So enjoy them. But for now, as always, guys, huge thanks for your support. I can't believe we got Natsuki the movie done, but thanks for your support on that as well. And yes. And Ben says, at least he didn't get sentimental this time. Yeah, I know. There's no crying. There's no sentimentalness. I don't know what the word is. I'm not going to get emotional this time. I'm just going to end it brutally by hitting the stop button and looking cool by taking like a swig. Is that the word? Swig of strong zero? Oh, fucking hell. I'm an idiot. A rambling idiot. Right. Have a good weekend, guys. Thanks for joining. See you soon. Take care. Oh.